There was a time when I couldn't even go to bed. I would feel so anxious, thinking that I haven't done enough, I shouldn't be sleeping. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. I think we can all agree that there's no one single way to self-care. What applies to me doesn't mean that it will apply to you. But I think the important thing is we know that at some point in life, we must take a break, take a step back, and really recharge. I don't think I'm the most appropriate person to make a video on this because I'm not those self-help guru who knows everything about relaxing. But I just feel like in a world as busy as Hong Kong, people a lot of the times forget that they really needed some time to recharge in order to do things that they like. If you can't maintain peace with your inner self, with your body, with your mind, there's absolutely no way that you can do things that you like for a long period of time. So I decided to make this video, even though it's slightly different, or some people might think it's irrelevant to the whole like environmental friendly or conscious living topic. But I wanted to make a point that caring for yourself is the first step to care about the world. So the first tip being, take off or remove anything that is restraining. Because I mean, life is already so tough. Why do we need something that restrains us? The second tip being to set a task and not doing it. If it's not a matter of life and death, I mean, there's always the next hour, the next day, or the next week. I mean, I'm not encouraging everybody to procrastinate. But if there are things that you really don't want to do, and it doesn't matter whether you do it or not, why don't we just skip it? 3. Cancel plans. Self-explanatory. I mean, there are times when you really have to meet somebody, but there are also times when you feel like you're not in the best shape to meet your friends or a certain meeting or do something. And if that's the case, I mean, just cancel the plan. If you do it early enough in advance, you don't have to be a jerk. The fourth tip is do not reply to messages beyond a certain hour of the day. For me, I like to set it to around 11 or 12 because, you know, I really needed to wind down and, you know, have some me time and go to bed. Tip number 5, stretching. There is something so therapeutic about stretching that would benefit almost anyone. I mean, we sit in the office all day, or if you do exercise, if you work out regularly, you definitely need to stretch. When I stretch, my whole attention focuses on the muscle that I'm trying to elongate and also focus on my breathing. And you know, there's really not any room to think about the things I have to do, things that I've been thinking about the whole day. It's really a moment when I feel connected with my own body. Tip number 6, brain dump. If you're ever in need of some quiet time, that means that you're not quiet in your own head. So that means there are a lot of things going on in your mind. And whenever I feel like that, it's usually because I have a lot of things to do. Then I make sure I take time, 5 to 10 minutes, take out my notebook and really write down, or you can even use your phone to write down everything that goes on in your mind. Most of the time it's some list of things that I need to do, so I write them all down, and usually immediately after that I will feel much more calm and, you know, in control of what I need to do. Tip 7, do something that signals me time. This is entirely up to you, and probably it will differ among people. For me, it will be dimming the lights and listening to the sound of water pouring into my mug, and then serving myself a hot cup of water before I go to bed. It doesn't even have to be tea. I mean, just water is good enough to calm me down. Tip number 8, that is to listen to podcasts. I mean, the social media is full of visual stimulation these days. You know, you can watch YouTube like what you're doing now. You can go on Instagram, Facebook, but really everything is a bombardment of visual stimulation. Sometimes listening and reading frees up your imagination. You can think between the lines. You can do your own stuff while you're listening to podcasts. My favorite podcast is Affirmation Pod. At some point in my life, I felt super stressed and don't want to go to work, and listening to Affirmation Pod really calms me down and really puts me to bed.
Hey, it's Josie with Affirmation Pod, your home for affirmations and positive self-talk. I hope as you're listening to this, no matter how challenging what you're facing is, you're able to see how you can take the situation and let it teach you to grow and become an even better version of yourself. Welcome to new listeners, welcome back to returning listeners. This episode is for times when you're feeling like you're not good enough.
Tip number 9, putting on body lotion. Am I the only one who's irritated by dry skin? I always take the time to put on body lotion when I'm listening to music or podcasts before bed. Number 10. Also, the tip that I think is the most important, work on your mindset. It's okay to feel exhausted and tired. It's okay to feel restless. It's okay to feel that you've given it all even though you're doing something that you love. I like to think of passion as a muscle. You work on it, but you also let it recover. There's no point that you exhaust yourself so much that you ended up hating whatever you were doing. So really, if you're doing something that you absolutely love, remember to protect it. Don't give yourself any excuse to hate it. So these are my 10 favorite self-care tips. I hope you like these ideas and find them useful. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye!